In January 2008, Tzu Chi Foundation finally had permission to start building the Suzhou Jing Si Hall in China. Taiwan is hailed as the fruit kingdom with a constant overproduction of pineapples all over the small island. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. In January 2008, Tzu Chi Foundation was given approval to establish operations in Suzhou, China. This year marks Tzu Chi's 10th anniversary. To celebrate the occasion, Suzhou Jing Si Hall joined hands with Google Arts and Culture to hold the Suzhou Embroidery Art Exhibition.
The moments when the red cloth came down not only marks the opening of the Suzhou Embroidery Art Exhibition, but also the celebration of Tzu Chi's 10th anniversary in China.
Thanks to Tzu Chi Foundation for contributing your efforts to Suzhou and cross-strait philanthropy over the past years. I want to express gratitude to you on behalf of the Taiwan Affairs Office in Suzhou.
In January 2008, Tzu Chi Foundation was officially established in China. In the past 10 years, the footprints of Tzu Chi's charity missions have left a lasting impression across the country. This time, the theme of the Embroidery Art Exhibition is Many Lives, Many Masters.
It is not difficult to make a piece of embroidery. We have overcome the most difficult part over the years by collecting many embroidery pieces, as well as gathering people's strength and talents. This is something that people who are engaged in arts like us need to learn.
All of the embroidered pieces displayed in this exhibition are from the Google Arts and Culture, founded by Wang Qin. The most special one is the Bodhisattva pattern of Guanyin, which was embroidered with Wang Qin's hair.
Our skin and hair are from our parents, which are the most precious things in our lives. To show my sincere respect to the Bodhisattva, I vow to embroider a Bodhisattva pattern with my hair after I give birth to a baby.
She must have a sincere heart in the process so that she could embroider the pattern of Guanyin, which has a peaceful and quiet look, allowing everyone to respect the piece of artwork. This is the highest moral performance of a person.
The Embroidery Arts Exhibition is a charitable event which does not request visitors to purchase tickets. There are a wide range of cultural activities associated with Kunqu, tea ceremony, and guqin. The exhibition will last until July 29th.
In Mexico, an earthquake survivor has suffered hardships due to her son's chronic illness, which was made worse after the massive earthquake happened. One of the local volunteers has known this family for a very long time. So right after the disaster happened, he brought Tzu Chi volunteers to provide them with the medical financial aid that they needed. My son was only a few months old when we took him to the hospital because they needed to operate on him urgently. The doctor told me he had a colostomy and his stool was too thick and was obstructing his belly. When the earthquake happened, we didn't have the means to treat him, and neither my husband nor I had money. So I picked up some gloves and I stuck it here. There are times where it irritates him, and that is when it will be taken off. We go through 4 or 5 bags a day due to that fact.
I've known this family for more than a year now. They left where they were staying at before because it was severely impacted by the earthquake. They didn't have a stable place to stay, so we're trying to help them. They are now part of the family, the baby too.
After the earthquake, Ricardo told us we could stay here, and that's when we got to know the foundation. They've given us a lot of help since we've been here. They are such kind people to us.
The foundation has taught me to offer help and support to whoever may need it, whether they're our friends, brothers, sisters, and or even strangers.
Amoxicilina y gasas.
Gracias.
When they gave me the card, we used it to buy a microwave to be able to warm the baby's milk products. We were able to buy diapers and milk formula. We spent the rest on colostomy bags.
Acabamos el dinero, pues las bolsitas de
Before, they didn't have the financial support to buy the necessary medications they needed, and now with the cash card, they're able to. They're happier, not so sad anymore. They can now afford to take care of the family.
Yo sentí bien bonito porque digo, pues gracias a otras personas que se quitaron.
I felt it was such a beautiful gesture. Thanks to those who, as I say, took bread from their own mouth to offer it to others, we were able to take care of our baby's critical needs. The cash card really helped us a lot. Thank you so much.
Mucho nos ayudó.
In Xingpu, Hsinchu, there's a group of elderly Tzu Chi volunteers who are still actively doing community services. Since Xingpu is also known as the township of longevity, their volunteers will often be around the same age as the care recipients.
我们今天去访视，
年龄最大的是谁
？78快80岁，要妹81岁了。
像我们60几的都不能说老，说最年轻的。
幼齿的，最棒的。
这个给你，小心哦。
他想要出来，他想要出来。他呢？
Her mother has had a hard time raising her. She cannot understand what other people are saying. She cannot comprehend it. In addition, she cannot control her bowel movements. It is out of her control.
大小哈，他都没有办法控制。
是姐，我们帮他们晾衣服哦。
我想说，他洗好一大堆衣服哦，等一下他生意做完，又已经是快下午回来下午的时间。现在剩太阳，尤其不是只有衣服哦，常常都是被单、棉被那些都是要这给你。是那个啦，要给你重寿，就是因为美眉关系。对，就是他。顺便跟你晾这样，好不好？鸡婆没关系的哈。不会啦。
受到记忆的有退一下。
哦，又有退化是。那有没有建议怎么做？医生建议怎么做？给你吃药吗？
多运动。
哦，那有啊，那你都有运动啊。
你等你肿出来就办法。
反正就每天工作。
哦，然后
也没有这么好，优异的，天天工作。
他叫他动啊，他的心情才会比较好。
毕竟他们比较年长。
After all, they're aging people. Therefore, our care recipients also respect the senior city volunteers that go to visit them. Since many are the same age as them, so we all chat like old friends during the visitations.
像老朋友一样。
我们今天来关怀幸福家园哦。
小雨的花很香哦，香哦，有没有闻到香？香，很香哦。
什么花？
玉兰花，玉兰花很
特地从家里？
没有，我家里种的。
对，哇，好棒，都是的。
I'm 70-something, and they are also in their 70s or 80s. It is very difficult for them to sit around all day like this. I feel that I'm very blessed to be able to come out and serve like this.
People say that the United States is heaven for senior citizens. However, for Tzu Chi volunteers, Xingpu is a heaven for the elderly.
一个天堂啊！
老人乐园。
老人乐园。我们也称这个老人班啊。
In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, there's a 77-year-old grandmother who has been learning Taekwondo for 4 years now. She has even passed a level 4 certification test. Being passionate about learning, she also fell in love with writing Chinese calligraphy.
Grandma Guan Yuehong, who's 77 years old, is full of energy as she plays the bamboo drum. Wearing her Taekwondo uniform, Grandma is mindful in every move. She has passed the level 4 certification test. However, 4 years ago, she did not know Taekwondo.
People told me to go learn something. I agree and signed up for the class.
The assistant coach said this is not suitable for seniors. However, it is helpful in terms of practicing reactionary moves and stretching. It also helps revive their memories. She also thinks she is still in good conditions.
Children and seniors both participate in the Taekwondo class. She has attended the class for 4 years and enjoyed its lively atmosphere.
I've also improved my strength and endurance.
Grandma and her husband lived in Liugui. After Typhoon Monica struck, her family moved to Sanling Dai village. With the volunteers' guidance, she fell in love with writing Chinese calligraphy.
When I feel like dozing off, writing Chinese calligraphy will keep me alert.
Grandma Guan Yuehong, who is passionate about learning, is leading a fulfilling life in her old age.
Taiwan has different fruits all year round, so it's hailed as the fruit kingdom. Among them, the #1 fruit that is mass-produced is the pineapple. However, this year's weather has been very unstable, making the fruit production in a state of over-excess. This has led to a price collapse turmoil, but many farmers are gathering together to combat the issues. Taiwan produces many fruits year-round. That's why it has a reputation of being the fruit kingdom. There are so many fruits in the current season, with bananas and pineapples leading the pack. In the past 5 years, pineapple production has increased year after year, from 410,000 metric tons in 2013 to 550,000 metric tons in 2017, making it the #1 fruit production in Taiwan, with nearly 1/5 of all fruits in Taiwan being pineapples.
In addition to simple planting methods, pineapples ripe easily and are ready to be harvested in 1 year's time. In fact, its response rate is very fast. The price is generally good, but planting it is always a good decision.
Unstable weather at the end of June, with a few days of heavy rain, made the pineapple fields quite muddy. The pineapple has always been the king of fruit production. However, in May, the weather was very hot, so most of the pineapple farmers were up to their knees in collecting the overproduction of the fruit. This caused an instant collapse in market prices. Unfortunately, at the end of June, there was continuous heavy rain, and the profit couldn't be balanced back fast enough.
This year's production has been the worst in the past 25 years. Most of the farmers are losing 60% of their total profits.
It's not a profitable business. We keep on losing money. Who wants that?
Estimating the output trend from the Council of Agriculture, it is found that the supply in July has far exceeded the demand by more than 10,000 metric tons. Even all the way till the end of the year, there will be an excess in production. Yang Yizi has been planting pineapples for more than 20 years. He said that the price of pineapples from May to June was only 3 to 5 NT dollars, which is less than half of the previous year.
No one wants to buy, so minimum sales are being made. It's thousands of kilograms not being sold in the market. Not to mention, many fruits are still back in the farms that are not even harvested yet.
The Council of Agriculture estimated that this year's pineapple production is 5% more than last year. The fruit is rich, but the price is falling, which breaks the farmers' hearts. This has become a recurring phenomenon each year. Seeing from the farmer's point of view, who doesn't want to sell more, especially pineapple being the star in the fruit industry. In the past 5 years, the export volume of pineapples has increased from about 5,000 metric tons in 2013 to a slight decrease in 2017 at around 27,000 metric tons. However, this is still more than 5 times that of 5 years ago.
Fruit farmers have to rush the planting process or else they will not make a profit. It's always competitive in every industry.
We all thought planting pineapples is the same process all around, but in Pingdong County, which has the largest production rate of pineapples in Taiwan, we saw a completely different scene. Fresh pineapples picked from various fields are transported into the packaging factories in truckloads. The pineapples on the conveyor belts are waiting to be boxed and shipped out.
The main market right now is still China, and then second would be Japan.
The 40-year-old boss is a second-generation pineapple farmer. His family has been planting pineapples for 60 years now. This year's low-cost production turmoil had little impact on their business.
Mainly, we have already adjusted the production period and planned ahead of time. So we already knew what was the average amount we are going to harvest each month. That's why it didn't affect us so much in this low-cost period.
The carefully planned harvesting method was the key to success. When it came to Chen Yusen's pineapple production, he believed that quality control is the best way to combat unpredictable climate and fluctuations in price.
There's a specific way to use the fertilizer to better control the growth of the fruit. In fact, this lowers the risk tremendously when there are unpredictable climate factors involved.
I visited Chen Yusen's pineapple fields and saw a bunch of college students collecting the pineapples because there was an order on rush.
This is almost at the standard for exported goods. For the pineapples, we usually call it like this.
His father, Chen Laicang, has been planting pineapples for 60 years already. After he handed the family business over to his son, it got even better. The estimated harvest this year is 300,000 pineapples. The amount is not particularly large, but almost all have channels to be sold. 60% of the exporting uses their own brand, so the price is much higher than the others. The key to getting good results is to have a good production team.
It's important to gather all like-minded farmers together so we can all work toward a common goal.
Under him, there are a dozen farmers forming a cooperative team that is assembled by both small and large-scale farmers. This is not a common practice in Taiwan, but it's actually the norm in Europe.
In the Nordic or European models, they work through issues through supportive method. It's up to the farmers to come together and face these problems head-on as a team. Then the government will help create an environment to guide them out of hardships.
Some farmers don't have a solid farming knowledge nor management background. This will cause them to have issues in the overall production and staff managing process. When it's not coming from a professional standpoint, it will actually affect the overall structure. This kind of influence is actually the deeper-rooted problem.
Ever since the older days, farming has always been self-sufficient. From planting to harvesting, it's always expected that natural disasters can strike at any given moment. However, when agriculture becomes an economic scale industry, the hardworking farmers can only rely on their crops to support their everyday financial needs. If they can change their cultivation habits and go beyond the traditional ways of farming, new possibilities are just over the horizon. Today on Clothes Journey, polyester fiber is a synthetic plastic material produced by the petrochemical industry, which is the same thing PET bottles are made from. For this reason, Tzu Chi volunteers recycle discarded PET bottles and turn them into polyester fiber for making clothes. This is a great way to reduce both excessive waste and our reliance on raw materials.
One PET bottle, when abandoned in nature, will take more than 450 years to decompose. And after just a few hours, some 70 PET bottles can be turned into a garment made from polyester.
After we crush the PET bottle, we power these chips into a machine like this. To be melted at 280 degrees Celsius and pumped into this thread, which is later chopped up into these pellets.
When these pellets are poured into the machine and once again exposed to high temperature, they melt, and from the other end of the machine they come out as 120 polyester fibers, each with a diameter that is just 1/10 of a human hair. Through the microscope, these 120 polyester fibers can be seen as entangled into a thick line, which we call artificial yarn. This recycled yarn reduces waste in terms of resources, as well as cuts down on garbage.
We don't want our textiles to go through another dyeing process. 1 ton of textile fabric takes 100 times more water, with dyes containing many chemicals.
While global textile pollution is unpredictable, the use of PET bottles for fiber does not require any dye. Plastic waste is also given new life if there's any chance to reuse fabric scraps. Cutting clothes and blankets, there are a lot of fabric scraps.
We will collect it, and after doing this, we will send it back to DaAi technology to be used again. We take these waste fabric scraps and break it up again, and reef it to make thread and then pellets. This is called the R2R process.
This fabric scrap can be turned into polyester material to make clothes, glasses, masks, gloves, and bags. Traditional jackets, even if they are polyester, may have zippers that are metal and stitching that is cotton thread. This assembly can be very troublesome, but the jacket that I'm wearing, from the stitching to zipper, is all made from polyester fiber and can be directly taken for recycling, as all parts can become raw material for polyester fiber. Many worry that 100% polyester fiber material made from recycled materials is not as good as clothing from blended materials. Actually, it isn't, because the fabric is also breathable and warm. Even the quality of the zipper is quite good. This is environmentally friendly PET zipper, and this is a steel zipper made from new materials. We tested it in the field to see if there were any differences.
They can all meet our CNS international standard. Actually, environmentally friendly material is very durable.
Taiwan's single material-based garment technology is rather unique in the world, as other countries typically utilize blended materials. What you see here is all discarded fabric from a garment factory. The production process results in 30 to 40% of the cloth ending up like this as waste material. It's blended with artificial material and natural fiber, making it impossible to recycle. In the past, it had to be incinerated, resulting in lots of pollution. In 2017, there are 60,000 tons of discarded clothes in Taiwan, which could not be taken apart and recycled, ultimately being sent to incinerators. This is because technology to reuse blended materials has yet to make a breakthrough, though recently there has been different materials have seen some promise. A mixture of various materials are shown here, such as 40% waste fabric, 20% coupling agent, and 40% pellets, combined together to make raw material for plastic wood.
Pressing it out one by one, they can be plastic wood sticks to be used in outdoor flooring, as it can withstand a pressure of 35 tons.
This finished product at first glance looks very much like wood, but inside it, there's no wood powder or wood fiber. We can replace wood with this and reduce the need to cut down trees. Technology is very close to human life, as waste recycling even extends into everyday items. Taiwan has more than 5 million people who drink coffee, producing some 30 tons of coffee grounds per day. In the past, these coffee grounds were discarded and now have a new use.
We will grind the coffee grounds into 400 nanometers in diameter, which is very fine, and add it to the yarn from PET bottles.
The combination of coffee grounds and polyester fiber has created this coffee yarn and can be easily observed through an electron microscope.
Microspores in the coffee grounds can help with odor control and the effect of moisture absorption.
Some of these warm jackets or waterproof jackets can all use coffee yarn.
The spinning process for yarn is no longer simply profit-oriented, as environmental concerns are also being addressed, as PET bottles and utilizing scrap material to make clothing can reduce energy consumption and carbon emissions. This means that clothes we wear are not only comfortable but also show more compassion for the earth.
In Sichuan, China, the local government and many charity organizations have been hard at work in cleanup recovery from many days of heavy rainstorms. Among them, Tzu Chi volunteers work tirelessly to assist the affected residents. There have been lots of natural disasters lately, so everyone should take part in protecting Mother Earth. Please join us in these efforts. See you next time.